I'm waiting on them. Yeah, I need to make sure.
Hello? Hello?
We hear you.
Yes, hello.
Okay,
Hello?
I'm here for J. Hi, this is Linda Hickey. I'm here for JR.
All right, we're not called to order yet, ma'am, and we'll call your cases. So everyone just be patient. We're waiting for our other board member to arrive.
Okay,
Can you please place your phone on mute?
I sure can.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
How we do it? Okay. Had some trouble with the parking lot. The parking lot is packed. Apparently there's a Supreme Court justice that's speaking at the convention center. Good morning. We'll wait for another board member.
How does this work? Robin.
Yes. Yes.
We'll be calling to order in just a moment. We're waiting for our another board member.
Get my folder.
Okay. You can have it.
All right, let's start with the preamble. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Board of Zoning Appeals. For this Monday, September 16th, we'll begin, we're hybrid today, meaning we're both in person and online. We'll begin with Ms. Kukla reading the preamble for us.
Good morning, my name is Liz Kukla. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals. And I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this Monday, September 16th. Complying to notification requirements of the city's open meeting law and section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976. Notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest to be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx screen. Please note, calling users can unmute by using *6. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak in a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak in a particular matter have been considered. We've also received emails from those who provided written comments on a particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair.
Great. Do you want to call the roll, please?
Sure. Ms. Wilson?
Present.
Ms. Holzer? Present. Ms. Bates?
Present.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 4 members. I'd like to announce,
Members.
3, thank you. And I'd like to announce that with 3 members today, any motion that is made must pass by a unanimous vote. If it does not pass by unanimous vote, then it is denied and Building and Housing's decision remains unchanged. So at this time, if any applicant would like to request a postponement to a future date when we have a full complement of board members, they may do so.
Does anyone online wish to ask for a postponement at this point? All right. Anyone in the room wish to ask for a postponement at this point? All right, we'll proceed. We are a 5-member board. We expect to have a 5th member sworn in the near future. We have 1 absentee today, so we are at 3. All right.
And so, Madam Chair, this morning we do have 2 postponements.
Okay.
One is calendar number 24-138 regarding 756 East 105th Street. This is Kimberly Thomas, owner, proposing to establish use as a residential facility for 12 occupants in a local retail business district. Per the second item on this description, this application must be reviewed by the City Planning Commission. Has not occurred yet. The City Planning Commission is requesting a postponement to October 7th. We do have room on October 7th.
October 7th.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-138 is now postponed to October 7th at the request of City Planning. Next.
Madam Chair, I guess we should also ask before we go forward if the applicant is on the call, just in case he wasn't aware. I don't
Of
see
this
it.
situation. Do we have Kimberly Thomas online?
It doesn't look like we do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. The next postponement is calendar number 24-141 regarding 14601 Ford Road. Trisha Zach proposed to establish use as a residential facility for 5 occupants in a D1 2-family residential district. We received a call this morning that the applicant will not be present due to a family emergency.
Okay.
So we will look for October 14th if that's, October
14th.
14th. Sure. Yes, we have that available.
We have that available.
Yes.
Okay, calendar number 24-141 is now postponed to October 14th at the request of the applicant.
And that concludes our postponement.
Postponement? Excellent. One trying to get in. There we go. Okay. All right. All right, here's what we do. Our court reporter is remote. When we call you forward to swear you in, you will state your name, spell your name. Ms. Wilson will administer the oath. When you speak to make your statement, you will repeat your name so that the court reporter knows who's speaking. Okay? If you're questioned by anyone, you go through the chair, and that goes, if anyone is questioning you, they go through the chair to you, you answer through the chair to them. Okay? As a courtesy to city council members, we, when they are present, we move their cases to the top of the agenda. Excuse me, please mute yourself. As a courtesy to city council members, when they're present, we move their cases to the top of the agenda. We have two present with us today. Council President Griffin his cases will go first, and then we'll take Councilmember Curtis. Okay? If you'd like to step to the table, Council President. And these cases are, we're beginning with calendar number 24-142. This is what we call a BOZA bundle. So we'll be hearing 24-142, 143, and 144 together. Is there anyone else with you today here?
No.
Okay, do we have
sorry,
anyone
I-
online for this case?
Oh.
You're here for this? Please step forward to the table then. Okay, we'll go ahead and read those cases.
All right, our first three cases are calendar number 24-142. This is at 2315 East 100th Street, 2413 at 2311 East 100th Street, and 241144 at 2319 East 100th Street. The City of Cleveland Land Reutilization Corp. Owner and B.R. Knez, prospective purchaser, proposed to erect a new two-story frame single-family residence with detached garage in the B12 residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there is one. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for the oath.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. I swear in all who are present for this matter, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand. Reply what I do, state your name, give your address, and also spell your name and also.
I do, Hannah Fogan, COHAN, and with the translation.
In your address.
7555 Bill Drive, RDPLE.
Howard. Thank you.
I do Blaine A. Griffin, BLAINE. And
Thank you. Is there anyone online wishing to speak at this time? All right, hearing none, back to you, Madam Chair.
All right. Great. We'll take history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. This is including the addresses of 2311, 2315, and 2319 East 100th Street. Zoning hasn't changed. We did find in our Records Administration Office that in 1897, a permit was issued to erect a dwelling at 2315. And then again, in 1914, a permit was issued to erect a garage on this property, same address. And for the address of 2319, permit was issued in 1907 to erect a dwelling. And then, Madam Chair, for the address also of 2319, we see that there were a porch addition made in 1964. And then for the address of 2311, in 1962, a permit was issued to correct and convert property to a two-family residential district. That's the indication that for the address of 2311, we did see a dwelling. So there were 3 dwellings on this project area. And in the more recent history in our Acela system, we found that for the address of 2311, a permit was issued in 2010 to demolish the property on that address. or 2315. Also in 2010, a permit was issued to demolish a building on the site. And then, Madam Chair, we do not have any other records for 2319. Street. That's all that I have. Thank you.
Okay, great. Welcome. Are you here for these cases?
This is 100 Street, right?
Correct, right. We'll just swear you in really quick for that.
You swear or affirm that the testimony you give is the truth and nothing but the truth. Please make filed for these. State your name, spell your name, and your address.
I do count staff, city planning, 601, try to applicant, 501.
Super, thanks. Typically, the council people like to make their comment last. Is that your choice today? All right. Are you going to be spokesperson for the project? All right. 1 sec, we need legal standard. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the Board of Health is requesting area variances from the minimum required lot width and minimum required lot area requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code. And that is the same for all three.
Great, thank you. We're looking at a lot width variance for these and square footage for all three. So go ahead and tell us what you'd like to do based on the variances you see.
Sure. Our goal is to build 3 single-family homes, one on each lot with detached garages in the rear of the lines. This area we're looking at was originally 4 lots that were 27-foot wide. They're all 125 foot deep. We went to the planning commission in February through the lot split consolidation to combine those 4 lots into 3 lots so they would be more of a buildable size. So now they have 36 foot wide lots instead of 4 27-foot wide lots. 27 is too narrow for us to build a single family home and with room for a driveway strips, in there, and also meet the side setback. So we platted or are replanning these to the 36 foot wide lots, which is in keeping with the character of the street and will allow us to have a single family home open up for the driveway and not getting any variances.
Super. Okay. So single driveway, double garage.
2 car garage for each house.
Okay.
1 push.
Okay. So the drive will expand to the width of the garage as a rear. Super. Okay. All right. I think this is going to be pretty straightforward for us, so we'll just go down the line. Ms. Wilson? Okay, Ms. Olson? Okay. Ms. Scott, statement?
City planning supports this, the variance, and is supporting of the project overall.
Okay, super. To you.
I support the project, support the variance. This is in line with what we've been already doing in the area, which built about 60 or so single family homes in that area. You know, that's the area we're trying to
Right.
grow the population, really trying to attract a lot of people.
Exactly. Right. I think what we'll do, Mr. Bay, just to familiarize ourselves, if you'll put up the elevations for us and run through the site plans. Yes.
You want to acknowledge, I think we have a couple of some residents on 100. We have some residents.
Oh, did they want to make statement or are they just here for moral support? Want to raise your hand? We'll say hello. Okay, all right. Okay, great. Good looking structures, very much in keeping with the neighborhood. And the kind of housing stock that is typical to the city, so looks good. 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath or 1.5 bath? 2.5, excellent. Okay. Built square footage? What
They're
about
about
1,800? Okay, super. Great. Okay. We have support from city council. We have support from city planning. So I'll entertain a motion since we have no questions.
I'm curious in the testimony that we have heard, that we approved calendar numbers 24-142 24-143 and 24-144.
Okay,
Board Member Coulter, I second.
thank you. Ms. Kukla, if you'll call the vote?
Ms. Olson?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Day?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-142, 143, and 144 are granted. Will be ratified next Monday. We'll send you a letter, but you can contact our office next Wednesday for further instruction.
Thank you. Nice looking project. Good to see you in person.
Always good to see you.
Thanks for stopping in. All right. Ms. Gray, if you'd like to step forward, we'll go to you next. All right. Next, we have Councilwoman Gray, so we're going to calendar number 24-112.
Our next case is calendar number 24-112. This is at 3368 East 113th Street. South Shore Homes Inc. owner proposes to establish use as a residential facility, parenthetically a group home, for 16 occupants in a B12 family zoning district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of local codified ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are two. This case was postponed from August 5th, 2024 to allow time for city planning or the City Planning Commission to review the conditional use request. I don't have any additional notes. With that, we'll hand over to Ms. Wilson.
Okay, super.
Is there anyone else in the room present tonight? Okay, please come to the table.
Pull up chairs, everyone who else is coming. You can go on the sides here on either side. And if you're the appellant, are you the appellant? Okay, and you'll sit next to Ms. Gray.
While they arrange themselves, is there anyone online present for this matter? If so, please raise your hand.
Yeah, you can sit on this end too.
Okay.
Anyone online? You see anything that you-
I don't see any hands.
Ms. Scott, are you staying for this one as well?
Awesome. All right, so I will go ahead and swear you all in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You raise your right hand. You state your name, spell your name, and give your address. I'll start with you.
My name is Charles C. Green, CHA Bond. Yes, G. Green, GRE.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth? Address.
38 East 113th Street. Ohio.
Thank you so much. Do you next? Name is Denise Williams, DTIC. My address is 1204 South. Thank you. Do next?
My name is Joy Black. Joyce Place, 2222 Northfield Road, Chardon, Ohio.
Did you say I do? Okay, perfect.
I do Heather Wycombe, HEATHER, Wycombe, WEIKUM, Joyce Place, 12222 Road, Chardon.
I'm sorry, could you spell your last name again? for me?
Yeah.
You're speedy.
WEIKUM.
Thank you.
All right. Go to the next one.
Affirm. Michael Bloom, Gail Oakham. I live 2294 South Green Road.
Councilwoman Gray, legal on the beach. One, I affirm, 601 Brookside. Okay, thank you.
Colbert Farrell, COLBERTBURELL. Address is 3214 Berkshire Road, apartment 105, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, 44118.
We did call for anyone on wishing to speak at this time, so back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, great. Okay, Mr. Bloom, you are the appellant for South Shore Homes, is that correct?
Right.
Okay, all right. So we'll go to history of the property.
Madam Chair, first, we asked the appellant if he was present for the announcement at the beginning of the hearing regarding the 3 members.
Correct, I don't believe you were present.
Oh, no, sir.
Okay, so we are a 5-member board. We're waiting for our 5th member to be seated at some point in the next few weeks. So that brings us to 4, one of whom is absent today, which brings us to 3. So you need a unanimous decision. So if you're okay with that, we'll proceed. If not, you have the option to postpone.
Let's see.
Proceed? Okay. All right, so we'll go to history of the property.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The zoning remains the same since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1923, a permit was issued to erect a store and a dwelling and a garage. And in 1949, a permit was issued to erect an addition and convert the property to 2-family. And then, Madam Chair, in the more recent history, in 2023, a certificate of disclosure was issued stating that the authorized use of the property is as 2-family. I also know that that there was one variance on file, count 149-107. This board granted a variance to erect an addition and a suite to a mixed-use building on site. That was in 1949.
Right, 49, what? What was the case number?
49-107.
107. And the variance was for, I was thrown off by the 49 part.
To erect an addition.
Erect
and
addition.
a suite to
All
a
right.
mixed-use building. That's, and the permit history shows that's when the residential unit was converted to a 2-family.
Great. Thank you. All right. We rarely go back that far. All right. Super. Legal standard, please.
Okay, during our earlier meeting, I was informed that the normally these are use and area, but this one is not within 1,000 feet of another one. So it's only a use one this time. So Madam Chair, members of the Board, appellant is requesting a use variance from the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship, particular to the property, such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
So it is not within 1,000 feet?
That's what was determined in our earlier meeting.
Okay, because that's not what's reflected in the agenda. So just want to be sure.
I think it was Shannon that confirmed that.
Shannon Leonard.
Here.
Oh,
Sorry. Hi, yeah, Shannon Leonard, Chief Zoning Administrator. It is not within 1,000 feet. It is across from the buffer of where the location of another residential
Okay.
facility is.
All right.
Xavier can kind of point to that in his presentation.
Okay, so it's across the street from the buffer. Okay, Mr. Bloom, if you'd like to go ahead and tell us what you plan to do as it relates to the now one variance that you need to seek.
So we're seeking a variance, straight for, to allow for a, group home in Willis home density. So this is a 2-family house, and see from it, it's not your typical 2-family house in the neighborhood. It has an additional 600, it's around 650 square feet, storefront, big, room in front of it, and above it also. So 2-story, 650 square feet each, additional to that, what's normally in a regular family on that block. So initially we were going to make it a 2-family house, so we had this huge extra space that we were trying to figure out what to do with. So we switched gears into the group home with the essence adults space. These We are within, the location seemed suitable to us based on walkability to CVS. There's an Aldi's, food, there's a Dollar General, gas station with a convenience store in it, as well as Kinsman Road and Union Road being walkable, having bus lines available to the entire city. Around the corner, there is an apartment building. I don't know how many units it is, but on 114th Street, or on 114th Street, there is an apartment building right around the corner. Next door to us was a vacant house that has since been torn down. It's reflecting that we've submitted. And we don't have any, we're on a corner, so we don't have any immediate adjacent neighbors directly that were on, the adjacent property, so it's the street on both sides. Behind us, we have a nice setback of the backyard, and then garage of the resident on 112, 150. I think this one's 12, so they're closer to. So here, kind of see the big backyard, kind of isolated in the middle of nowhere. We like this property as a group home because there's plenty of space, a lot of recreation within, with 3 different levels of recreation. We have large one on the main floor. We have the second floor. There's another lounge, and in the basement, another very large lounge for putting in ample laundry facilities. We added additional bathrooms so that would allow for our great facility plans. We added additional 2 bathrooms, so there's now 4 full bathrooms and 1 half bathroom in the basement. We have an office/study at the back, which is used for can be used for consultation with caseworkers, and our bedroom sizes meet or exceed the state requirements for LCT.
For 2-person occupancy.
For 2-person or 1-person, depending on.
Okay, all right. All right, talk to us about the population that you expect to serve.
So I'm here with some of the team members I'm going to be bringing together. Culver Burrell is going to be one of our, he works with the caseworkers for 15 years. We're also recently, we're working on a partnership, but eventually purchasing group homes from Joy and Heather, her daughter, that have been operating group homes for over 40 years. And so Culver could really talk about the specific populations that we're thinking about.
Okay, great, because what we need to know is the population you're going to serve, and then we also need to know your staffing, your shifts, meals, medications, transportation, activities, all of that kind of information.
Okay, my name is Colbert. The type of residents going to be having is people from like Cherry, mental health agencies, the centers. All these clients that are coming are going to come from mental health agencies, not off the streets. I'm not accepting anybody with, like current violence, sex offenders, arsonists, child molesters, anything that's current. Nobody with a violent history that's current.
And how current is current?
I'd like the record to at least be a year.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sir.
And as far as medication, as far as staff, we're gonna have 24-hour staff. Then we're gonna have 3 shifts. We're gonna also have cameras throughout the facility in locations that are allowed. Meals will be prepared 3 meals a day by staff, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And the state requires that we give them an evening snack. So that'll be provided as well. We'll have a staff member on every shift that is certified to do medications.
Okay. How many staff members per shift then?
We're gonna have at least 2 to 3 per shift.
2 to 3 per shift, okay.
But really on third shift, you won't need that because really that's bedtime. It's lockdown time, so you'll probably have 2 people on, third shift.
All right. All right, so one staff person on each shift certified to dispense meds.
Yes, you have to be certified to do meds.
All right, super. Gender,
Male and female.
next, okay. Age,
Well, the age can really vary on I don't want anybody that's not capable of taking care of themselves,
okay,
because I want everybody to be functional and take care of themselves.
okay,
So only type of people that I will be accepting, that we will be accepting, is functional people that can bathe themselves.
ambulatory can bathe
Yes,
themselves.
Yes, I
Okay,
don't want to turn it into a nursing home.
right,
I want everybody to be able to take care of themselves, fully functional.
okay. What's your maximum capacity then?
Maximum capacity would be 60.
So you're gonna go for the full max capacity.
I mean, the place is big enough for that. In fact, it's really oversized. We're over on everything as far as the state is concerned. We're over.
Now, did you purchase that vacant lot that's next door?
We cannot purchase it as of yet because it's not for sale, but once it goes up for sale, we plan on purchasing it
All right,
and fencing it off so people don't throw trash and tires and fence it off.
who owns it now, do you know?
City.
I don't think the city.
The city doesn't even own it right now.
It's a probate case and
Okay, so it's still in probate,
yeah, it hasn't even gone to the state, land bank yet,
okay, it's on
Still-
land bank.
but they took the house away.
Yeah, they're like, yeah. All right. All right, we'll go to, who else? You ladies probably should speak next. You're involved in the operation. Is that right?
We're helping them get started.
All right, go ahead then.
We had our first home,
State your name for the
I'm sorry.
court reporter, please.
Joy Black.
Okay? Go ahead.
I'm the owner of Joy's Place. Operated it for 31 to 40 years. 40 years. We started out in our home. And then quickly realized that our home started out as a choice for going to a nursing home. We didn't have people that needed personal care. When we moved to our 16-bed home, there was a time when they were closing down the state mental health hospital, as you recall.
Yeah.
We were able to take those that were applicable to a home environment. So we had mixed up with and member mental health. And it became a real joy to see the older ones say, hey, you had that shirt on yesterday, you shouldn't change. Or the younger ones saying to the older, let me get you a cup of coffee, and nothing but their chair. When we had hospice, which we did do in North Carolina with the hospice organization, that person was never alone. Their families came with them to visit and left one of our residents. And it was just a home environment. People who have mental illness haven't asked for mental illness. They don't want it and they don't consider it. But it's an illness. It has to be controlled, just like blood pressure, blood sugar. So we learned that what they needed. We consulted with SOPRO, which is an organization for the mental health organization out near us. And we learned that what these people are looking for is an environment that accepts them. Maybe their actions aren't always saying that you or I would be. Maybe they're afraid of having a bath. Maybe washing their hair is a traumatic situation for them. But we helped them get through that because they trusted us. We loved them. They loved us. It was a home. And since because of COVID, we've had the same thing everyone else has had. Difficulty with finding good help. we finally come to that. We have good 24-hour reliable, caring, understanding of what we've been taught. The state is very helpful also. There are surveyors that come out, bring us information, they bring us suggestions. And it's really been very helpful. What we feel is important, what these men are fully capable of doing is providing a home that is safe for them, that is happy for them, that they're going to get good meals and good personal supervision. I mean, sometimes they have to be reminded to shape. That's my personal. Good morning, breakfast time, shave, back. But it's kind of a joke around the house, especially when I go to square too. But anyway, it's a home that's fun. And it's never been anything but helpful to our neighbors. We've had residents, we had a store next to us, and I had residents that noticed that smoke coming out of the building. And we called the fire department, they notified staff. They also were the owners were inside that building. So they're helpful to the community. We don't have those tragic things all the time. We did have a little girl wander onto our apartment, onto our property. She was 8 years old and she was obviously not on the mental RDD skill. She had wandered almost a half a mile from her home. And my ladies and the other residents that were there entertained her and kept her safe. So the sheriff came to find her. They're still part of the community. They're interested in what goes on around them. They take part in community churches. They take part in staff has children that are playing baseball or soccer. We'll go and entertain that. We have therapeutic horseback riding that some of our residents go to. And one of our residents who's extremely talented fashion-wise has never had a counselor. Her adult life, child life for that matter, to help her with her symptoms, to help her with some of her fear. That counselor, the therapeutic housing course program, got through to her, and it's made her just, she got so into class. She's just part of the community now. It's like watching an older person open up their eyes and shine, blossom. Right. It's the same thing with our mental health.
So your relationship with Mr. Bloom is you're going to be managing the facilities or?
We're gonna help them
Okay,
get familiar with state regulations, help them with anything, fill in the blank. Whatever they need help with, they're running, ongoing, staffing, whatever they need.
okay.
They're really very interested in doing a good job. And that's just throwing some people force together. That house has so much to offer. And the surrounding yard and back, like, it's just, it's a place to build a garden, it's a place to involve it. By the way, I'm residents help with
It's
all that sort of stuff, but it's just it's a great opportunity. And the need, I can cry sometimes at midnight when I get phone calls from families that just need help. The families are part of it. And it just changes relationships. And they're shutting.
Well, we do have limited time, but thank you. I have a feeling you could share a lot with us. So. Do you have anything else to add? That's your, that's your mom, right? That's your mom. All right, we'll go on to you ladies.
My name is Charleston Green, as I'm saying. I live at 3380 East 113th Street. I have 3 lots from you, building that they're trying to. I think it would be nice to my community, because a lot of older people stay there, and everybody helps each other. It would be nice.
Okay, all right. And you, ma'am?
And I'm Denise, and I'm a owner, the owner of a home care agency. So I'm now familiar to what they're trying to do with them. I was fortunate enough to go there and look at the space and the land and the vision that is there behind that. One thing I've realized in the home care business is that people want to stay in their home. They like that home-like feeling. And so even with that, even with dealing with people with mental illness or whatever type of sickness or ailment is that there may be, they want to be in a home type like setting. The surroundings there is good, as you mentioned, the stores there, the bus lines that's there, education that group homes to bring to them to make them feel normal. They don't want to feel set apart from people. They want to become part of this community, the surroundings, being in touch with what's around them is what brings their mental status to a place of being able to live like a normal person. And so I think the vision that's there, the layout that's there, the structuring that they're putting up would bring so much to the community as well. The community looks out for each other. They would look out for them as well as them that can help for residents as well. As you mentioned, you communicate with one another. You become like home. It's like a family type setting. So 100% with what you're trying to do. It's well needed. It's not like it's a business, but it's a home. It makes home feeling, and it brings healing for people that deal with mental statuses because it's making them feel like they're a part, just like anyone else.
Excellent. Okay. Mr. Bloom, did you have formal community meetings with the neighbors, the adjacent neighbors?
Yes, so we did a lot of outreach. We walked up and down the streets. We had petitions that we had neighbors sign in our favor.
All right. Had those been submitted ahead of time?
I haven't received any.
All right. We'll let you give those to Ms. Kuzma.
Okay. We did a barbecue with flags and sign neighborhood. We hung them up at the churches locally, and we invited the community out. It's great. Was very gracious, and she attended for herself to kind of engage with neighbors. And that's pretty much where we're at. We did a lot of fun with neighbors, the neighbor across the street. That
when they got the bars.
When,
yeah.
and there are some neighbors that checks.
All right.
We're supposed to have two people on the video.
Yeah. No one seemed to raise their name when we called them, though.
And it's the street that I live on. It's real nice. It's more like not elderly people, but middle-aged people. And everybody's like a family over there. They right beside each other. You know, neighbors don't come. It's just a nice little quiet neighborhood.
It's good to hear. I like to hear.
I think it would be nice to have.
Excuse the noise next door.
Hello.
We've had them on the roof. Sometimes it sounds like you're in the dentist's office. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, hello. My name is Linda Hickey, and I'm speaking for J.R. Colbert.
Are you from calendar number 24-112?
Yes.
All right, we haven't sworn you in, ma'am.
Okay.
And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? If so, please raise your right hand and reply with I do. State your name, spell your name, and give us your address.
Linda Hickey, 11925 Browning Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44120.
Okay, can you swear or affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ms. Hickey, you had a brief comment you wanted to make?
Yes, I'm speaking for J.R. Colbert. It will be the residential that's in the neighborhood. I've been knowing the neighborhood for all my life. I know that would be a beautiful thing for the community to have. I also work as a therapeutic worker for the state. Will be working with J.R. Colbert with the resident And I believe and I know everything's going to work out because he is such outgoing, beautiful guy. I've seen him work with um, mental patients. He also was a mentor for a resident, and I've seen him do beautiful things with the resident. Um, and I just want to speak on his behalf that I believe and I know it's going to turn out okay with the people that's working with him, as well as I will be working with the resident. Because once again, I am working with the state, with the residents, and I also work with Murray Taylor um, as a therapeutic worker with them as well. So the residents, most of the residents that will probably be coming into the neighborhood or into the establishment, it's a lot of things that they can learn, and it's just all about taking care of them and caring for them, and because they are people too, and because they already feel some type of way because of what they're going through. So just showing the compassion, which I've seen JR have done towards the people, and the cookout he has done and brought the community together, I think it will be a beautiful thing to have in the community.
Great, thank you, Ms. Hickey.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm sorry. A lot of people get say Cobra, so I'm a junior, so I should just call me JR.
Okay.
Yes.
Now we have a frame of reference. That's good. Good. Yeah, yeah. All right, now we're just gonna call you JR.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Scott, are you making comment on behalf of city planning on this case?
I am. So thank you, Madam Chair. And I'm going to also refer to Shannon Leonard because there are some details in what has taken place over time. Excuse me, I'm getting over or trying to get through something.
Yeah.
This use required planning commission, conditional use permit from the planning commission. They came to the planning commission and were granted that conditional use. However, there were details within that conversation that were not clearly articulated to the planning commission. So I do want to ask Shannon Leonard, who has those details, to speak. But the other, I guess, item that I would just remind you of is that the variance stays with the property in perpetuity.
Correct.
Right now, there is a owner who has wonderful intentions and has, collaborated and communicated with folks that are very supportive of what he's doing. That's wonderful. And we also need to think about the future, and if this property falls into the hands of someone that is not so caring, and I know with conversations that we've had, city planning and the appellant has had, they have even cited that previously working with other group home facilities and how not insignificant, it's not the word, poorly managed, I guess I'll say, right? That they've seen go on. And so while, again, the owner has good intentions, we can only hope that it would stay within the ownership of someone that would continue to be that committed. But as we know, that doesn't always happen with property. So those are my comments, but I also ask Sharon to elaborate.
All right, excellent. Point taken, because when we do the variances, it attaches to the property
Right.
and into perpetuity.
And particularly because this is a far-reaching variance, being that the zoning is two-family and that the appellant is asking for to allow 16 people. Which
Correct.
would first be allowed in a multifamily.
Correct.
Or commercial district.
Right, and that is another good point, because that is something that I've flagged in reviewing the case. typically we're at 6 people or 5 people. And then typically the next is 12. So going to 16 is, a level of inhabitants that we typically don't see for a group home. Ms. Leonard?
Yes, good morning. So that's a good transition. So we don't normally see an applicant asking for the max, 16 residents, anywhere in the city. And in fact, when it went to planning commission, that was the first one that they've seen in over 7 years needing that conditional use. So conditional use is required for any 16 or large scale, that would be 6 to 16 residents in a multi-family district. So 6 to 16 resident group home, that's considered a large residential group home, is first permitted in multifamily with a conditional use from the planning commission. Now, at the time that they went to the planning commission was completely confused, didn't really understand why they were here, really understand the standards. So I'm going to let you know what those standards are.
Okay.
The standards are that one, it cannot be within 1,000 feet of another residential facility. As you can see here, it's outside that buffer by across the street. So that's the first standard, right? And the second one is the architectural design and site layout of the home and the location, nature and height of any walls, screens, and fences are compatible with adjoining land uses and the residential character of the neighborhood as may be specified by the zoning code regulations of multifamily districts. And as you can see, they didn't do anything to the exterior of the home, so there was really nothing for them to judge other than that it's like an old school storefront in the front. And it is a larger 3,000 square feet, two-family home with a storefront, right? And so that was the only thing that they looked at when they made their decision. What they did not think about is how do these 16 residents integrate into a two-family district? So yes, the house may be big enough legally by the state of Ohio standards to house 16 co-ed residents, right? But we didn't look at, or they did not look at, how does those 16 individuals day-to-day fit into this two-family residential district with other families and things of that nature, as well as, what are these 16 residents going to be doing day-to-day? Going to and from appointments. How do these 16 residents plus 3 employees or 2 or 3 employees per shift, so 6 employees, integrate into that neighborhood? And when I say integrate, is because the entire purpose of that 1,000-foot buffer zone is to ensure that when we don't want oversaturation, right? You guys see these every week now.
Right.
But also that you're putting a very institutional use. So a lot of comings and goings with caseworkers, people coming and going to appointments into the residential fabric of a two-family neighborhood. At the same time, you want them to integrate into that neighborhood and be those residents with that neighborhood. So my biggest suggestion to this board is to follow the board standards as it relates to granting the variance in perpetuity, but also, while it could all be very well-meaning and well-intentioned, why not consider meeting the standards of the two-family district, have up to 5 residents. If you have that strong need coming in, being a first-time residential facility owner, then come back in a year, show the city that you're well integrated into the neighborhood, into the two-family, and you do need and can't handle the additional, 12 or 8 residents, right? So that would be my recommendation, just from being the chief zoning administrator in terms of enforcing the code as it relates to this large. And then to also let you know that there will be more of these coming to you in the coming weeks. And here are the standards.
Thank you. I think we expect that we're gonna have an influx. Did you want to review this? Okay. All right, Ms. Gregg.
No, I'm Greg. As you know, I've been here plenty of times. I have went through a lot of different other situations that group homes and all the information that I have set with Chief Planner Kim Scott. She has been very resourceful, but I haven't happened to understand the process and the procedure of group homes and also the board here too. Right, so saying all that, saying this, yes, I visit group home visit the group home and met everyone, who's operating the group home. And had a very thorough conversation. That's why I also said that we're going to go to the planning department first before I even make any type of decision moving forward. Because
Particularly on this one.
particularly yes, on this one. And to say the least, I did talk with the residents. How did they feel about the group home coming into the neighborhood after they gave their function, their community event. The majority of the residents who were there had a good conversation, had a thorough conversation, understanding what they were bringing to this particular property on that corner. So they became more comfortable and understanding of how they was going to operate the group home. But I did also speak to JR this morning that when this was canceled last month, I thought they was going to get in touch with me because they had not come to the community meeting to present it to the community, other residents in the community. Okay, that's one of the steps. That's one of the steps that need to be involved. Even though they talked to everyone, I did speak to you guys when I came to the first meeting. I first met you guys. Remember, I was there and I was like, this is the process of the council. Everyone comes to my community meeting.
When is your next community?
This is September 26th.
Okay.
That's one of the process that needs to be presented to the other residents in the community that this group home is coming from all the reasons of what we have already been through. That's something that they haven't done and they need to do. Okay. They need to do it, even though it was presented to residents on the street. Has to be presented to residents at the community meeting. That is the process. That's September 26th.
What time?
5 to 7:30. 5 to 7:30.
We'll note that Councilwoman Gray has before us with group homes at a much higher percentage rate than any other council people. So she has a greater saturation in her ward of group homes. So she has been through this numerous times at this point. So
the chief, what's her name? You just left.
Sharon.
Well, her saying that, yeah, she's still there.
She's still there.
Okay, so, but said at least, she reminded me of the variance of how many patients need to be in the group home. Because I went through that with another resident that wanted to go to that master. She wasn't able to do that because of the various reasons. So I'm going to, by me, this is not expertise of the positions that Shannon and Kim Scott holds. So as the board, I'm going to just rely on the board on the decision.
Okay.
How many people need to be in the group home? Like Shannon said, let's go with the 5 or then, and then see how that progress. Then come back, see if they can have more because of just what I went through for the third part this year with the other young ladies. Those are things that these ladies have the expertise in, and I'm the council person as a whole for the residents. I look at things in a different way, but I will comply with what Shannon and Kim Scott, the board will
okay. We're gonna go to questions from the board now. Okay. So, Ms. Wilson, I think we'll start with you.
Yes, so my question is, you spoke briefly about exploring the idea of just using this as a residential facility. Can you talk a little bit about that and whether there's any economically feasible use for the property?
So when we first purchased it, it was operating as a family. It had that big extra space in front, and we couldn't figure out good use of that space. So we found out that there was a tenant before we purchased the property. There had been a tenant there that wanted to create some kind of a men's social club with a big sign up in the front, and that was shut down very quickly by the city. So the seller of the property, Emma Jones, was land surveyor for many years. Everybody seems to know him. He has stacks, piles of survey reports for properties all over the city. He was the owner that sold some property. He was happy to see it go into good hands. I didn't give you really my background. So I'm from Los Angeles. I moved here 7 years ago now, August 2017. My family, got 5 children. I moved here for one thing, and it totally fell through. But I got a job working as property manager for apartment buildings, and I was managing an apartment complex in Garfield Heights, and JR was my tenant. And we got to know each other, and for about 5 years now, JR has been helping me build a group home. And I kind of pushed it to the side because I didn't really have experience in that field. I'm very familiar with it. My grandparents, blessed memory, they opened up a group home facility in Los Angeles. They have a nonprofit organization. They have about 7 group homes now throughout Los Angeles. At first, I was very involved in the community in LA. I was a neighborhood council member myself. So I was elected to that position. And I did a lot of work with community. I ran a community-based nonprofit volunteer emergency medical service. I've actually just about to launch here in Cleveland with 35 EMT responders. Part of my community involvement in LA, I was involved with the LAPD community police advisory board, the CPAD. So I met a lot of people, and I became very close with a police officer named Dion Joseph. He's the they call it a senior lead officer. He's a community outreach officer for Skid Row, which is the homeless capital of the world, basically. And I really got a very deep understanding of what the real homeless issues are. Why is it so bad in LA? And it all came down to mental health. Mental health was the crux of it. And this officer literally did his career. He's going to be retiring in another year or so, but he dedicated his entire career to the homeless. So JR came to me, and I was very, managing apartments for other people that were just not giving me the tools to do the job. I couldn't even sleep at night with some of the stuff that I had to deal with. I get the residents' complaints, and I do my best at not being given the tools by the owners. And I finally started looking, and then, so I have a partner, Hanan. We bought this property we were going to do it as a rental property. And JR kept pushing. He's like, this is the perfect spot for a group home. So when we initially bought it, yes, it was going to be a 2-family group home. For what we paid for, we could have, made money at the market rent. But now that we put all this construction money in and everything else, we tore out all the old walls that had lead paint. We took out the old HVAC systems, all the vents and ductwork that were lined with asbestos. And really, we spent a lot of money cleaning up this house. We added 2 additional bathrooms, so that we could have 5 bathrooms, 4 full bathrooms, and 1 half bathroom to accommodate all of the extra people. So a typical 2-family house has 1 or 2 bathrooms at best. We're going to have 5 bathrooms. We added bedroom space based on we were able to move the kitchen and all of that. So I understand that a typical family house has all of that, but this really, having that additional 650 square feet on the ground floor and 650 square feet on the second floor, that's 1,300 additional square feet available for residential space. And as far as, opening 5 beds, unfortunately wouldn't be financially feasible. We would do it, and we would scrape by just paying for staff and covering the bills of the place, the operation. It wouldn't really. It probably would not be financially feasible. It would definitely create hardship. I've put my life on hold for a year now. I stopped managing property to focus on this because JR kept getting upset with me. Oh, he's taking on other buildings to manage, and we've got to open a group home. And I literally kept pushing him off. I know what's involved, and I know what's needed. And then I realized, there really is a need. And now I live in University Heights, and I'm seeing homeless people now sleeping on the bus benches over there on Cedar Road. So it's not just, pushed to the side and off in the, downtown or at the shelters. It's a problem all over the people now.
How many bedrooms are in this house?
This bedroom has, I think it's both plans, right? I have, I think it's 5 on the first floor and
I looked through all the plans,
oh, right, so hold on. There's,
but I don't remember.
so for the main floor, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
And then on the second floor, we have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms.
What about?
So it's 9 bedrooms.
Oh,
total.
sorry, JR.
Nine include the larger, I think, commercial space that you referenced.
No, so upstairs, right, so upstairs, we split that large space into 2 different bedrooms. Each bedroom is about 200 square feet. So we have,
Big bedrooms.
they're pretty big bedrooms. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the second
I
floor.
think my feeling is they're like a closet space for their size, but they're big bedrooms.
Right, so as a group home, we chose not to put closets since we're gonna be putting armoires for each resident to have their
Right,
stuff down.
that's fine. Okay, so we've got 5 on the second floor and 4 on the first floor.
Correct.
So we have a total of 9 bedrooms.
And then the front room there you see is our large kitchen area, the living area, dining.
Okay.
And on the second floor, we have another living room area. In the basement, we have another living room area with a large laundry facility. So 360 square foot recreation in the basement.
And I want to say something, I haven't said that. Just say it. When I first was invited to do the building, I knew about the building project, a gentleman reported yes. The residents, it was denied, they were moved out, because I talked to the owner, who was trying to put that to. So when I first visited the building, they were really renovating, when it was renovating, I specifically said, y'all should made a statement, shouldn't renovate before you talk to the planning department. I was like, so this is where, I was like, this is why I cannot make any decision as a council. I said, because when you put money into something, it's not the decision on the council that say, I'm gonna agree with something, that you have to go to chief planner. That's when I say, you gotta go call Kim Scott, chief planner. Then you bring her in, then she will let you know about this part. I said, I just said, I was tell everyone when they come into their group home, they wanna give me a tour. Do not renovate, stop renovating, because I don't know what the decision is going to be. As I'm the council, I don't make the final decision up to this point.
And this happens so many times.
This happened so many times.
These were all the interior renovations that you made, correct?
Correct, and I'll admit, I'm guilty, I'm not experienced in this realm, so now, I've learned a lot through this process.
You can stop it, y'all put a halt to it.
So we put a halt on the work, but I know that like any company, my experience is operating and managing people and managing facilities. And so it's all about putting together the right team. So I personally, I learned a lot here. And I don't have experience personally running a group home, but that's why I brought JR and that's why I put together all these other people that are here to help us. It's like Macy's, the CEO of Macy's, right? He doesn't know how to stock shelves. He doesn't know how to drive a truck. They hire the right people that know how to do that as a team. Together, they put it all together. So yeah, I've learned this zoning process, and on the future ones, we definitely start differently. But
Are you in any kind of contractual agreement with them in terms of management?
so the only contractual agreement we're in is that we are in a contract to purchase their facility in Charlotte.
Okay,
Essentially.
all right.
So we have a working relationship for that one, and then we'll be definitely working.
Sorry, we have to move on with questions.
Sure.
Sorry, anything else?
No, I think that answers my question.
Okay, Ms. Holster to you.
I do have a couple of questions. So just so that I'm clear, the day-to-day operations, Mr. JR, you would be overseeing the day-to-day operation of the facility. Have you run a group home before?
I've been doing it for 15 years.
Okay. Have you run a 16%?
I would say the most I probably ran was 12.
Okay. If, so if the recommendation is that they scale down, would they have to resubmit? Can we negotiate that table?
Ms. Leonard, question to you. I think we're inclined to do some conditions here.
If you grant a variance, anything over anything 6 to 16, let's say you do 12. Then you granted the variance and somebody else can come in and do 16, or you could go 16. So it's either go withdraw variance request and do 5 as a group home by right. You get the permit for that. Come back in a year if it's going well, if everything is going well, the management is going well, the integration is going well, the client need is there, everybody's happy, come back. Or you grant the variance today for anything over 6 or over 5, and they're free to do 6 to 16.
Okay, all right, that clarifies it.
Let me ask you this,
Okay.
Shannon. If we use conditions to ensure that management is smooth flowing, can we do that as opposed to having them resubmit and us doing this all over? Like, can't the condition be approval? However, management has to be in place, or, just make those specific.
There's no way for the city to inspect that, the management and things of that nature. So if the variance is granted, they can have anywhere between 6 and 16 in perpetuity for a residential facility. So just, however you want to decide, just know that a variance gives them that ability to do 6, 8, 12, 14, or 16.
That would cause me as counsel in this position to be in this role more than ever moving forward with other group homes that wanted more than what we already denied them for. Be they able to come back? Are they able to come back to skill shop into that?
Oh, this is probably not gonna answer that question, but to the question that Ms. Wilson asked is whether or not there was something else that could be done with this property other than this that would relieve financial hardship. I'm sure that I worded it not accurately, but I get what the question was. And I don't think that was answered. I mean, I think that the answer was along the trajectory that this appellant planned, no. However, could it be a 2-family home? Could there be a 3rd unit with the front section of the property? Could that be an individual unit? Potentially it could. They have done a wonderful job in doing these renovations, but this is the case of it's easier to ask forgiveness than to get permission, okay? And as the councilwoman stated, the first step in the process, I mean, even before you purchase a property, talk to the departments that regulate what can happen on a property if you are able to do what it is you planned or whatever your vision is to do. So 2-family, even a 3-family, adding an extra unit, could it be converted to a 3-family? Is that something that could be allowed? Yes, there could be a process for that. But again, here we are. And
This is not the first time this has happened. Because we often have people who move forward and, yep. So, okay, Mr. Bloom, you had a comment? In response or no? JR did, okay. All right, briefly, sir.
Look, I know it seems like, 16 people are. But like I said, I have that 15 years of experience. And yeah, it would cause some type of hardship and things like that, but that's not what we're doing it for. We're doing this because we care about mentally or trying to give them a loving, caring place. Some of the places I've worked in horrific, horrific places. They're not gonna get that here with us. We care about our residents. And we're trying to help them to blend into the community.
And JR, I think we totally appreciate that. The issue is that when we grant a variance, it's attached to the property in perpetuity. And so we we're being very careful here, particularly with the council person and her stance on things. And what we know from city planning, because, 16 is a lot of people to introduce into a neighborhood. So we're being thoughtful and we're taking a little more time than we normally would on this,
I appreciate that.
just to go through all the
So
discussion.
can we do 12?
Well, let's see what the board wants is thinking here.
There is, I can bring it up on Google Maps, right around the corner on 114, midway down the block, there is a apartment building, multi-family apartment building. Within that same house, and then apartment building, and then houses. So there is, I don't want to say it's impressive, of, more larger, more multi-family, more people than single family, larger family size.
Right.
If you have, 4 apartments, and that's more than 16 people. So
Okay.
it is around the corner.
Is it a possible building or is it a group home?
No, I believe it's an apartment. It looks like from the street, it looks like an apartment.
It's an apartment building, but this is a group home.
It's probably enough all to use to correct this.
Right, and I think the argument is that 16 people is too many for a residential area. You have another building that has probably more than 16 people in it, because it's,
Okay, all right, folks.
that's just fine.
Any other questions for
Yeah.
Shannon Standing? Ms.
Yeah,
Leonard?
just so as we explained to the applicant, a 16 or 4 dwelling units with families in it is a lot different than moving 16 grown individuals into a 2-family district.
Correct.
That's operating as a business.
Right. Thank you. All right. Ms. Holzer?
I did see that there were 2 hands up on the call for the record.
Okay. Mr. Bay, we have 2 hands up.
Yeah, do you see Ken A. Whitley?
Okay, are these people for this case? Because they were not sworn in. All right. You getting any kind of reply from them?
They're coming off mute right now.
Mr. Whitley, you have your hand raised. Is this for this case? All right, I'm gonna assume not. We're at the tail end.
He's still on mute. Can you unmute yourself, Mr. Whitley?
All right. So, Ms. Wilson. Ms. Holder.
So I think,
I think we have some conditions to make, probably. You agree?
I do.
Okay.
I mean, my inclination would be, granted conditional on a lower occupancy.
Okay,
So
agreed.
we would be conditional on maybe starting out with a number that's agreeable, maybe 6, other than that. And provided that 6 goes well, then I think we could remove the condition and allow the additional.
Well, so 5 is the cutoff, correct, Ms. Leonard?
Yeah, they just go with 5, they can withdraw and get their occupancy permit.
Right.
In the next couple days.
Right.
Anything over 5, you grant the variance and put a condition on it. The city doesn't have to inspect everything, go in and see
So
how many
there's no way to
residents
enforce that.
That's the big issue.
It raises a question though of profitability, is economy of scale. the other condition is that, to, Ms. Gray's request, they've not been through her community meeting, which would be something else that I feel like they would need to do prior to ratification. Should we grant?
That doesn't address the problem with the occupancy that
Right.
we're hearing from.
Exactly.
So it sounds to me there is no way to address that. If we just.
It would have to be limited to 5.
Then they would need the variance you just said.
Right. Right, exactly.
I mean, it's not, I don't think that's too much to ask for them to do the small residential facility, being it's their first time owning a group home. And that with the plans to go out and buy more, have already bought more homes for the purpose of having large group homes. In the city of Cleveland, have them run that 5-person for a year and come back and just submit a new occupancy permit to bump it to this. We've already had this hearing, this will be on record. You'll remember them surely, and then at that time grant them.
I think the problem with that though is we're hearing testimony that would create a hardship with it.
Right.
And so how do we resolve that? Which is why I think the condition should be based on views. I mean, we have the authority to grant conditions. And based on their track record of engaging with the community and stopping the work and just following procedure, I think that maybe they're trustworthy enough to follow the condition and only allow a small amount of occupants and make sure that they go to that community meeting that's being requested, just for the sake of efficiency, if nothing else. Madam Chair, do you talk?
Ms. Scott, did you have something else you want to chime in on? No? Okay, all right, Ms. Holzer?
I don't think I even.
Okay, all right. All right, I'll be honest, here's what I'm inclined to make sure that the community meeting is a condition. He's got 9 bedrooms, that would be my limit. We've had, there's every single person in this room has been in support. I think even Ms. Gray, you really are in support, you just want them to go through the steps with you, which is understandable. I think we've got someone here who's managed 12 people. We've got a team here that has been in the business. I can't tell you what to do with regard to this, but I think it would be beneficial to go through the steps to make some sort of contractual agreement for them to be your mentor management people, so that you have that.
We already have the verbal.
The thing that consistently drives me is my pet peeve, going to your pet peeve, not the same thing. The term is that we have people, we get a lot of group homes before us, and we have a lot of people who come in here with less organization than you have, but also they do not have a business plan. And that you at least, I think, have something in terms of a business plan, not in writing to present to us, but in concept and in informal organization. And the fact that people come before us without a business plan, who are trying to run a business, is my big pet peeve. So at least you have people in place and you have a concept, and it is maybe not on paper, but it is organized to that extent.
Get it on paper?
I can't make that, but that is something that, yeah. Anyone who's trying, and we had some construction guys in here, and they intend to move forward with their business, doing infill housing. I'm like, if you're running a business and you're coming before city officials, have a business plan. Have it written out. You know, be professional. Drives me, it is my pet peeve. End of story. So that's where I'm at. Okay? So those would be my conditions. I feel we've had other people with less experience, with less expertise, and that have come before us for maybe not 16, but for greater than 5. So that's where I stand.
Madam Chair,
Board can chime in. Ms.
uh,
Kuzma.
just for one thing for you guys to consider when the motion is made, we could update the drawings to show it's one bed. That's one thing that we see.
Yes, absolutely.
One bed per room.
Right.
Currently, the site plan or the floor plan shows
Right.
several rooms with 2 beds.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Cooper. Good point. So if you would do that, we would make another condition that you would submit new site plans, your floor plans specifically, reflecting 1 bed per room and all the furniture that's gonna be there. So if you're gonna do armoires, fine, have them in the floor plan. Okay?
Can I just humbly ask? We have experience with 12 people. We can get to that 12 number.
I'm gonna keep you to 1 person per room at this point. All right?
For how long? Is this 9 permanently, or can we, is there a way we visit this and bring it up to 16?
You can, I'm gonna,
Yes.
Yes.
Good question.
we'll get a consensus here.
First question, how long is it gonna take you to get online to get 9?
So we have at least another month now of construction to finish closing up the walls. We've already passed all of our preliminary permits with the city. So the plumbing inspection, the electric inspection, the HVAC inspection. Now we have to close the walls and finish it, then they come back in and do their final inspection. So it's probably at least a month until we get that together. And then we have to go through the state licensing process. We have to furnish the house, we have to get all the beds in. We have to get the,
So you're at least first of the year.
well, we're hoping before that, but realistically, we're looking at around the first.
So I think we did 12. Yeah, I think we did 12
I
months.
think 12 months total
Yeah.
of operating with 9. And then after that, the condition would fall off.
12 months from when we open, not from today.
From today.
From today.
Well, 9 from today. 1 person. 1 person.
Months.
Yes, 12 months.
12 months.
Yes, 12 months.
And one quick
Okay.
comment, just because we apply for 16, there's very rarely ever that many people in a room on that one time.
Well,
Very rarely.
so, and this is why, because again, we've had a lot of group homes. And, test the waters, see how it works,
I'll take it. I'll take it.
make sure it's run. Okay. Sidebar conversation, Ms. Goodwin?
I'm having some concerns about doing the temporary use language.
Yes.
I don't know if we can do that. Generally, the temporary language can only be included if it is specifically temporary use allowed. Our parking lots that we have that mention or that are described as
In terms of being able to sunset it?
right, I'm not sure that we can do a temporary condition where it expires in a year. I think they would have to apply again. That's where I'm going with that.
Okay, all right. So there's where we're at.
We understand what was made this different from any other temporary condition that we.
Pardon?
What would make this different from any other temporary condition that we impose?
I can't think of any. Can you think of any off the top of your head that we can?
No, I mean, I think, I don't know, I feel like this would be just to say there's any other condition that we require
As a
part
sunset.
of the granting of variance.
I mean, I think generally speaking, when there's temporary permits coming in, the variance is temporary. This is for a permit. There's no way for the city inspectors to really know whether there's 6 or 16 or 12 or 9 residents in the home at any given time, because an inspector has to physically go and be present. Obviously, if you have 9 beds in 9 rooms, that indicates 9. But again, when that year, there's no mechanism for us to send the inspector out within so many times to say, is there more than 9 people staying here or whatever have you.
The
So,
inspector can't just go to the property and check.
Yes, they do.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a building and housing question in terms of how the inspectors work. But generally speaking, if there is a, say again?
I could say not city, I'm trying to clarify, they're nodding yes, but I don't know that they are city inspectors.
You're talking about
You're
state.
talking about
There
state.
are, there is a,
city,
there
county,
is a,
No, but we're the
Yeah, we need one person at a time.
excuse me, there is a state licensing program. That, that's what leads these residential facilities. These are, whatever they're, adult recovery homes, adult group homes, level 2 homes that are from the Adams Board or the, Department of Mental Health, right? And so that's what he's proposing is a state licensed facility. There is a licensing program. You pay a certain amount of money, they send somebody out, they make sure that you have furniture, they make sure you get your zoning in place, they make sure that you're all checked out by the state, they make sure your prescriptions are right, you got somebody dispensing them. That's the state licensing program, right? But there's not a state licensed inspector that comes out and checks to make sure that you have only 9 unless you ask for 9. They're asking for 16 from the city. The city's zoning code says 1 to 5 in a small residential facility. All they're gonna look at is this is a large residential facility. And I've had these conversations with the state, with the Adams Board, with the people that license roof homes for the city of Cleveland, because it's become such an issue in the past 12 months and a couple of years with all of the folks that are starting to operate these businesses in our residential. So there is a license, they're gonna check, they're gonna say, do you have enough space for this amount? What they're saying in this home is they have enough space based on the state standard, the square footage, to allow for up to 16. Even if that just means 1 per bedroom or 2 per bedroom. Some homes have 3 per bedroom, depending on the square footage that's permitted by the state. So they could have that. I mean, if you're going to approve this variance, I would say make the condition at the 9, 1 per each bedroom, so that we can put that on their occupancy permit, and then when the state does permit the licensing, they can say that this is permitted for 9 adults at this time. And then when they decide to come back, if they want to up it after a year from the resolution date of this, right? They could resubmit to up their occupancy from 9 persons to 16 persons, and that would give building and housing a way to identify how many occupants are permitted in this. Based on
Does
this.
that answer your question?
Here we go. I think we're at the talk.
Okay.
So.
You ready?
Madam Chair, based on the testimony that we have heard and the extensive conversation around this request, I move that we approve calendar number 24-112 conditionally. So we would approve, there'd be 9 occupants in the property only.
Let's do this as a punch list, Ms. Wilson, so we make sure we've got everything. So
only
condition
9
number 1.
Only 9 occupants. And should the applicant desire to increase from 9, a new application will be submitted and heard. We will also require updated site plans to show that there is 1 bed per room.
That's actually floor plan. Technically speaking.
Please correct me, thank you. New floor plans, we talk about site plans. Okay, and we're also going to require that the applicant attends a community meeting, which is September 26th. From 5:30 to 7:30.
September 26th at Selma George, from 5 to 7:30.
Okay. So that community meeting is also a requirement. I know you talked about a business plan, Madam Chair, that you request to include to our list.
I would love a business plan.
Okay.
Madam Chair,
But I don't know that we can.
this might have been part of your it should have been part of your packet. We do have a narrative here.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe we'll just say an updated business plan.
Yes.
To reflect starting at 9 and then later increasing
Right.
upon another application.
Excellent.
Right, the project overview does detail the number of bedrooms on the first floor and, the number that are double occupancy and.
Okay, great. So let's update that. I did print all of that because I burned through all my hand. So let's update that. We're just gonna call that a business plan. You might want to reformat it. And we're gonna call it a new business plan. Okay. Ms. Wilson, back to you. Sorry.
That was my final condition.
All right, Ms. Holster, do you have anything else? Okay, would you like to second?
Board Member Holzer,
All right. Kukla?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just for clarification, should we hold this for the revised drawings and?
We're holding until after the community meeting.
Right?
Ratify after that meeting
After we receive.
to
the-
ensure participation.
And also after we receive that floor plan.
Yes.
If we don't receive that until after the meeting with the community.
Right.
We would hold ratification until that.
You are welcome to submit the documents that we requested prior, but we're holding ratification until following that, okay? So that would give them what, October 4th is the following
October 7th.
7th?
That's right, October 7th.
October 7th. So that would mean ratification on October 7th, which would mean coming to the office on the 10th, correct?
Yes, the Wednesday.
The Wednesday after.
Right. As long as we have, you would have to ratify it. We would need it on Friday before so that we can get that documentation.
All right. All right. We got the vote called?
Just for clarification as well, what kind of documentation do we want? An email from the council person or some documentation from the appellant?
To verify that they attended the meeting?
Attended the meeting.
Ms. Gray's gonna have to send you an email to verify that they attended. You in agreement with that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, excellent.
Okay. Ms. Holzer.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Bates.
Yes.
Calendar number 24-112 is granted with several conditions. If you'd like me to read them, I can. Those being that 9 occupants only, that we receive a new floor plan showing 1 bed per room. And then if they want to request 16, they would have to reapply in the future. And also that they attend the community meeting on September 26th and submit some sort of verification or proof that they've done so.
Okay.
We'll hold ratification until all those items are met.
Okay, so they get you up and running. You do that for 12 months. Should you choose to, then you can come back and reapply to go up to 16. Please work closely with Councilwoman and with city planning. Okay?
So I just want to make one thing very clear. Been approved for 9 items. You do have the ability to revoke the variance if you find out that you have. So I just want to make sure.
My question is for the next, when we apply in the future, it's already been through planning commission, voted for official use at 60. Would we have to go through planning again or only zoning?
If
it's site plan specific, so if they come back and they're receiving that looks exactly the same as the one that was submitted here for this case, they would not have to go back through planning commission. Now, if we're 5 years down the road or something like that, and it's a different owner, then yes.
Ms. Leonard, you have business cards on you?
I have any business cards.
Yes. Okay. You have her contact information? Okay, all right. She is the chief administrator. So your new BFF. Along with Ms. Scott and your council person, okay? All right. I think we've given you the tools that you need so that you can move forward. Maybe not 100% of what you wanted, but I think we've reached a pretty operational compromise so that you're not going to suffer too much economically, and you can hone your operation and move forward. Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you, JR.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you coming down.
Have a nice day.
Too.
Are you Marcus?
I am, yes.
All right.
Come over and say hello.
Come and say hello. We have another, we're moving forward, but we just want to welcome our new board member. Mr. May, got our next one queued up.
I do, yep. That's the agenda. Good idea.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Come around, say hello. Nina Holzer. I'm Alana. Nice to meet you. Yeah. I'm trying to go with your personal. Like in more than 5 years.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you. Are you gonna sit for the rest? Yes. We still have a few more. That one took unusually long. So, all right. All right, we're moving on to 24-136. Do we have anyone in the room for 24-136? Excellent. Please step forward, make yourself comfortable.
Our next case is calendar number 24-136. This is at 522 Literary Road. Todd Berger and Christy Beck, owners, proposed to erect a two-story addition and attached garage to an existing residence in a B1 two-family residential district. The owners appeal for relief from strict application that they will have 5 ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record of which there are 3. Yeah, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I'll go ahead and swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Raise your right hand. You reply with I do. State your name, spell your name, and give your address.
Brandon Young, BRANDON, YUNG. My address is 1458 Clarence Avenue, Ohio. Sorry.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the room for this matter? Anyone else online for this matter?
Christy Beck, the homeowner in the case.
Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and spell your name and give your address, please.
Kristie Beck, BECK, 522 Literary Road, Cleveland, Ohio.
Thank you. Anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter?
Brian Gallagher with Mancusa Homes, builder.
All right. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Did I hear your address?
20006 Detroit Road, Rocky River.
Okay, thank you so much. Anyone else online wishing to speak in this matter? All right, here none. Back to you, Madam Chair.
All right, super. We'll go to history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. In our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1896, a permit was issued to erect a one-story hall. 1909, a permit was issued to erect an addition. There is one variance on file in calendar 22-175. Variance was granted to erect a fence conditioned upon reduction of opacity to 50% at the corner. I would like to state that the variance has expired. We still have the original documents for that. We have to apply for that again.
On the fence?
Yes. And that's all that I have that's relevant. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Super. All right, legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board of Health is requesting area variances from the required rear yard, required interior side street yard, and maximum gross floor area requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Super, thank you. What is your role in the project?
Yeah, exactly.
I suspect we'll get deeper. All right. Typically, we have to have letters submitted, but we have the homeowner present, so that's great. You've got 3 variances that you're applying for, correct?
Correct.
All right. go ahead and tell us what you want to do as it relates to those variances, please.
Okay, so the project is for a home addition. There's an existing detached garage, which is outlined in red. It's at the alley, back corner of the property currently. So the proposal, the existing detached garage is deteriorated and in need of repair, so that is to make an attached garage, rotate it 90 degrees, so it's connected to the home. And that does a couple things. First, there's currently a curb cut off of West Sixth. Now, to get into the property, that's what the fence is. And so the project would eliminate that curb cut, which I know we went to the block club meeting, the local block club meeting, they were in favor of that. Allows for more street parking. So yeah, they'll enter the driveway off of the alley, and it also allows them the opportunity to put a landscape bed instead of the fence there. The variance, the first variance in regards to the rear yard setback. So the existing garage is currently, 1 foot, less than 1 foot from the rear yard setback. So the new attached garage would be in the same location at 1 foot. So that we are requesting that. But I should also note that the code requirement allows you for if you're abutting an alley or half of the width of the alley to be included in that as well. So it's about 8 feet from the center line of the alley. Yeah, the new construction, so the dark area where the attached garage is, in regards to the second variance, it actually is more than 5 feet from the interior side of the street yard. And in terms of the area variance that we're requesting, so that the first floor area only increased by roughly a little over 200 square feet, 138 square feet. The project does include a fitness room above the garage, which puts that area for the 761 square foot garage or gym, sorry, of the garage, as well as there is a mudroom and a stair up to the garage. That's the variance. But the project will also be a full home renovation, as well as the 2-story, 1.5 story addition to the garage.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Ms. Beck, do you have anything to add to Mr. Young's testimony?
I don't.
All right.
I think
Super.
you summed it up.
All right. Mr. Gallagher, do you have anything to add as part of the project team?
Nope, I don't.
Super. We'll go to questions. Would you like to hear from city planning?
Yes, please.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. My name is Xavier Bay. I'm going to be representing city planning on this case. We're supportive of the variances being requested today. As you mentioned, you're removing curb cut along West 6th Street, which increases the pedestrian safety on that side street. I think the only note we have is that it would be nice to see glazing proposed on the garage addition facing West 6th Street. That would add some safety as far as more eyes on the street and be a better pedestrian experience. It wouldn't be as much as continuing the hardscape there on West 6th. They did attach some good elevations and renderings.
Do we have that elevation with the garage doors?
This would be the alleyway, and so these are the garage doors coming up the alley.
All right.
This corner here shows you what that looks like along West 6th Street. This area where I'm panning the hand back and forth is where I would propose to see increased glazing or windows and be beneficial for this project. It's not part of the variance requested today.
So you're asking for glazing on that elevation above the landscaping?
Correct.
All right, Mr. Young, do you want to respond to that?
We can provide, glazing in the garage. I know the homeowners were concerned about safety.
Yep.
So, Christie, I don't know if you want to speak to that at all.
Right.
Yeah, I can.
Go ahead, give us your thoughts on the suggestion. for the
Sure.
glazing.
I think originally Brandon had shown some glazing actually on that side, and we asked him to remove it so that it didn't create another entrance into the property for safety purposes. I think if we might be open to making them transoms, so they're higher up and less
Right.
likely to be accessed. But
I
and there's
could see-
transoms on the side that are like that as well.
Yeah, I could see some transoms on that elevation, I think. The other thing that might be an opportunity there is to change your landscaping, your plant plan. Go with something with, ornamental tree or something would give you more height.
So I think the landscaping here isn't really representative of our plans. So we were actually planning on putting some trees there that were higher. So yeah.
Sure. Okay, does that change your thoughts, Mr. Bay? If we go with higher landscaping?
No, yeah, I just want to make that comment about the just the
Okay.
pedestrian experience a little bit hard to speak.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing a transom or two on that elevation. I mean, that's not what we're here for. It's just my area. So, okay, anything else, Mr. Bay?
No, that concludes my comments.
All right, thank you. Ms. Wilson?
Can you speak to the variance number 2 a little bit for me? I don't know if I just missed it, but proposing 2 feet when 5 is required. Can you speak through why that would be necessary and what margin is or what difference?
So I believe the existing home is 2 feet. That's and the new construction, which is the garage, is set back. So that is compliant. If it was aligned with the existing home.
Okay, so the existing side yard setback is the 2
It's not
feet.
conforming.
Okay, that's not conforming. So we just fell into this because you're adding the garage, which is at an obvious setback. All right, cool. Ms. Olson? Okay, super. All right, given that, I'll entertain a motion.
I haven't heard testimony from the architect, the owner, planning. I move approval calendar number 24-136. Do not have any conditions.
I don't think we get on, does it? I think we're out of those for today.
Use up all we had.
Yes.
Madam Chair, I would second the motion.
Okay, Wilson seconds, we'll call the vote.
So no comments about landscaping or additional windows?
We're going to, leave that to owner and architect discretion. Because we're not here to redesign their building. Sure. I'd love to do that, but I'm not supposed to, so.
All right, Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Holter?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 24-136 is granted. Be ratified next Monday. We'll send you a letter, but you can contact us next Wednesday for further instructions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Beck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gallagher. Good project. We'd be interested to, if you do decide to add they're gone. Never mind. Mr. Gallagher, if you decide to add transoms, just resubmit that.
Good.
Not a condition, just sort of an FYI, so we have it on file. Okay? Super, thanks. Thank you.
Thank
All right, moving on.
Our next case is calendar number 24-137. This is at 6719 Seabird Avenue. Kevin Travis Senior, owner, proposes to erect a 2-story current single-family residence with a 2-bay attached garage behind an existing single-family residence on the same lot in a B1 2-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record, of which there are 4. With that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson for review.
Thank you, Ms. Holzer. I will swear in all who are present for this matter. Is there anyone in the room present? All right, hearing none. Is there anyone online present for this matter?
Yes. Kevin Travis.
Okay, do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your right hand. Reply what I do. Just state your name, spell your name, and give your address.
I do. Kevin Travick, KEVIN TRA, V as in Victor, ICKSR period. 6719 Seabird Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44105.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in this matter? Hearing none, for you, Madam Chair. Oh, did I hear someone?
So they can what, Whitley?
Mr. Whitley, or I'm assuming Mr. We can't hear you that well. You're kind of breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay,
Kent
that was
Whitley.
good.
WHITLEY. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you fine.
Whitley, 15 Chapman Road, Chicago, Ohio.
And do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak in this matter? All right, back to you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Bates, check the audio, I think, right? Are we good?
Yeah,
All right,
we're good right now.
cool. We'll take history of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. There's been no change in the zoning since 1929. Our Records Administration Office, we found that in 1899, permits were issued to erect a dwelling on the property. It's also cited that there is another dwelling that was erected on the property in the same year. There were two different permit numbers. 1911, a permit was issued to erect alterations. 1970, a permit was issued to erect an addition to a garage. And then more recent history, Madam Chair, in March of 2022, there is a fire leak that was in the garage. There was a violation notice also issued later for the, regarding the exterior condition of the property, and the note was made to correct and clean up the property. And then, Madam Chair, in August of 2022, a permit was made to erect a garage, but that was voided earlier this year. And that's all that I have. Also, there are no variances on this.
Okay.
And that's all I have. Take.
Interesting.
Yeah, right here for the beginning. Fire.
All right, we need to mute somebody there. All right, we'll go to legal standard.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting area variances for the required rear yard depth, minimum lot size, maximum gross floor area, and minimum distance between buildings, requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you very much. All right, Mr. Trevick, are you going to be the spokesperson or Mr. Whitley?
Mr. Wheatley will be the spokesperson, but I just want to put clarity to a couple of things before we move forward. First of all, the fire that they first of all, this house used to be a two-family dwelling. It's been converted into a one single family home. And it was purchased as a single family home. Not a duplex or a double or none of that. We bought it as a single family home, 4 bedrooms. Second of all, the fire they brought up was from the neighbors behind our home. Their garage caught on fire that was right behind our garage and burnt our garage up. That's how the fire came about.
Okay.
And I just wanted to put that out there.
All right, thank you. All
Yes,
right,
ma'am.
super. We'll go to Mr. Whitley. since he's going to be the spokesperson. Tell us your role in the project, Mr. Whitley.
Designer.
All right.
Client wants to add an additional 500 square feet above his garage. Since we're less than 10 feet away from the east and the north setback lines, we're gonna have to put a UL rated, 1 hour rated firewall on both sides of those walls. That was what we would propose to do to get this particular variance.
Is that the minimum building code for that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. What's the purpose of the living space above the garage going to be for?
It's going to have a bathroom and a small kitchen and a small living.
Right. And what's the intended use for that space?
Adult child coming home.
Adult child. No intent to use it for short-term rental?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll go to anything else, Mr. Whitley?
No, ma'am.
All right, we'll go to Mr. Bay, City Planning.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We don't see any issues with the variances being, Xavier Bay representing city planning. We don't see issues with the variances being requested today. I walked around the neighborhood when I was putting up the sign and taking site photos, and I did notice that it's contextual. There are a few other lots close to this home that have two separate dwelling structures on their parcels. So it's contextual with the surrounding neighborhoods, and the distance that they are away from the main structure on their lot is the same height as this accessory dwelling unit. So for those reasons, we think it's decent enough spacing from the main structure.
Okay. So there is a prevalence of tandem houses on lots in that neighborhood.
Just a few, not as many as Tremont and some of those neighborhoods, but it's existing context.
Okay, interesting. All right. All right, we'll go to questions board. All set, Ms. Olson?
And I just, for the record again, to the owner, want to confirm that the unit in the back is not going to be used for any sort of short-term rental or Airbnb.
No.
Okay.
No.
Super. All right, we needed to hear that from the owner, so thank you for that. All right, I'll entertain a motion then. Want to take this one?
Sure. So having heard testimony here today, I move approval of calendar number 24-1-7. Again, sorry to belabor this, but the approval conditional or not conditional, that it's not going to be used as a short-term rental in the back. Just it's going to be used as an apartment for an adult child moving back home. Beyond that, I don't have any conditions or that's the motion.
Super, excellent.
All right, I would second the motion.
Ms. Wilson for the second, we'll call the vote, please.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Holzer?
Yes.
Ms. Bay?
Yes.
Count number 24-137 is granted conditionally. It will be ratified next Monday, and we will send the appellant a letter. Contact us next Wednesday for further instruction.
Good luck to you on the
Thank you very much.
project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hey, thank you.
Okay,
Have a great week.
you as well.
Thank you, Mr. Wheatley. Thank you.
All right, 24-138 was postponed, 144 was postponed, brings us to 24-148. Wow.
You should be our last.
All right, what case were you here for, folks? Any property? Okay, for 145. Yeah. Okay, all right. All right then, we'll go with calendar number 145.
Our next case is calendar number 24-145. This is at 3934 West 117th Street. Annie's Properties LLC owner proposes to install an 8-foot tall fence in the C1 General Retail Business District. The owner appeals for relief from strict application of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances as stated in the agenda and the public record of which there is one. There's also a note that the previous public notice that went out identified the address as 3943 West 117 Street incorrectly. And with that, I will hand it over to Ms. Wilson.
Ms. Wilson, is there anyone in the room wishing to speak? Okay, we'll have you come forward, please. While you do that, is there anyone online wishing to speak in this matter? So please raise your hand. Thank you. All right, I'm going to swear you all in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? You raise your right hand and reply what I do. State your name, spell your name, and give your address, and I'll start with you.
My name is Anand Abdallah. It's spelled E-N-N-A-N. Last name is A-B-D-A-L-L-A-H. And I am right next door in the building at 11722 Bel Air.
Thank you. I'll go to you next.
I do. My name is Assam Abdallah, spelled E-S-S-A-M. Last name is spelled A-B-D-A-L-L-A-H. And address is 11722 Bel Air Road.
I do. Sandy Osa, S-A-N-D-Y, O-S-S-O, 13153 Hampton Park Drive, 207, North Orleans.
I do. Evelise Colon, that's IVELYS, COLON, 7101 Melbourne Avenue, Brooklyn, 44144. Thank you. And I'm not seeing any hands raised online here, so
All right. Great.
So history of the property, Madam Chair, is that it was originally zoned multifamily in 1929. 1950 was changed to local retail business, but then in 1994, it was changed to general retail business. In our records administration office, we found that in 1967, a permit was issued to erect a one-story brick gas station. There are many variances on file for this address. I'll just read the ones that are most pertinent. Calendar number 78-337, and this is in 1978. The board granted a variance to convert office and service station to store. In 1985, encounter 85-29. A variance was granted for the sale and display of used cars. In 1985 as well, in calendar 85-180, variance was granted to convert display and sales of used cars. And then in calendar number 93-230 in 1993, a variance was granted to erect an addition to a used car sales office. And I think that's all that I have that's relevant. Thank you.
Okay, legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board, appellant is requesting an area variance from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create a practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning.
Super, thank you. All right, who's going to be the spokesperson? Okay.
My name is Hanan Abdallah. My brother and I together own a building right next to the gas station. And he's proposing to put a fence that's going to impair the vision of cars coming in and out. That's 8 foot tall. It's not normal. Most fences are 6 foot. And it's going to block us in. The neighborhood ain't, I've owned this building for 7 years, and there's a lot of problems with people being able to come in and out of that driveway adjacent to ours, and putting up a fence is going to make it even worse.
Are you the gas station owner?
No, I'm next door.
You're the gas station.
Yes, and
Next door is an apartment building.
No, we use it as, my brother and I built gas stations on the underground, like storage tanks and maintenance and repair stuff.
To the south of this?
Yes, moving to the south.
It used to be the Sherwin-Williams store?
Yes, right there.
You're the old Sherwin-Williams store?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
They would see the two by the fence.
Yes, go ahead.
Right, so you see the right in front of there, right where the corner is, right, to the right of our building, there's a exit, there's a driveway entrance and exit. That one is used probably more than any one of the aprons that currently exist, so they have 4. That one right there, every day, I'm just gonna accident pulling out of my driveway. Every day, anyone, me, myself, my employees, every day, there's almost a possibility of getting an accident because our drivers are just too close together. They put an 8-foot fence up, 100% there's gonna be accidents. Every day there's gonna be accidents. Not to mention, a lot of these gas station owners that put up fences, they put up their signs there too, so it's gonna impede vision. Another concern is security. God forbid somebody decides to rob us or something bad happened on our property, there's nowhere to run, we're gonna be enclosed in, there's already a fence going around the back portion of the whole, of our property, and it stops right at the back of their gas station, so them wanting to put a fence up from that corner all the way down, it's gonna be disastrous for us.
Okay, you can't do editorial comments, when it's not your turn.
So that's what, so my problem was the impeding the vision of our vehicles moving in and out of there. We have large dump trucks and we have, commercial utility trucks and.
So that's the nature of your business out of that location.
Yeah, so we have.
Because you're constructing the underground tanks for the gas station.
Yeah.
Are you associated at all with
No.
any of the other gas stations?
No.
Okay.
We just do the maintenance and service repair and paint to the ground and run the piping, things of that nature.
Okay.
And, we also have like a little storefront that's in the front, where we advertise our parts and pieces and the equipment. It's gonna.
So you use what used to be the Sherwin-Williams showroom
Yes,
as a showroom,
yes,
and then you use what used to be all their stock area.
yes, it's our,
I was a frequent flyer at that Sherwin-Williams, so I know it well. Okay.
So those were our concerns, the heating division and security of us on our property.
Okay.
And blocking with that.
All right, I know that building. So that it used to be a pro store for sure.
Madam Chair.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Say one more thing. I can understand them wanting to put like towards the end, 6-foot fence, or coming out towards us. They can lower it down to like 3 feet. We'd be fine with that, but 8, it's kind of ridiculous.
Okay, all right. We'll move on to you folks. Who wants to go first? Thank you, gentlemen.
Sandy.
Sandy, go ahead.
So the purpose of fence, we were made aware to this distillery that's becoming, so I'll just start there a second. So part of our security for us would be to kind of keep some of that clientele away from the gas station where.
Do you own the gas station? You manage it?
Yes.
You manage it?
Yes.
Because it's a speedy station, right?
It's a Gas USA. East Cologne, I'm the operations manager
Okay.
for multiple of our petroleum stations as well as a banquet hall that we have in Westlake, Ohio.
Okay.
So we have obviously been doing this for quite a while. Really, I do understand a lot of the concerns that the gentlemen are bringing up, but what we're trying to do is really create a separation of businesses. Because there is a lot of times that debris is coming over, there are things over the fence. We do understand some of the pedestrian situations. But we think that it'll align with us being able to really separate the businesses. We are under the impression, 2 things. And I've never seen it, I'm sure it is, I've never seen it as a storefront. In regards to the type of traffic, I also was a Sherwin-Williams, the type of traffic that was coming in and out of there.
Yeah.
The traffic that I see, that I think these gentlemen are referring to, is gonna be more employment traffic. There is, I think, 3, 4, 5 people that may be occasionally come in or out, at least from what I can see. We have purchased equipment from their store, so I have been there where you have to actually call someone for the door to be open. The door's not even open during normal business hours. So that traffic that we're, I think, trying to make it seem that it's usual like it was for Sherwin-Williams is definitely not the case of the day-to-day if you're there on a regular day. I will say that first. Secondly, I think that part of our future concern is if it is turning into a dispensary, we just run a different type of business and we are not opposed to a dispensary. We're not here to speak about that because it's not what's on the table. But again, having the separation of businesses to us makes sense in regards to the fact that right now there's a warehouse behind us and potentially there's going to be a dispensary. And it is next to us, but it's kind of the way that the gas station is set up because of the fronts of the gas station, the awnings where people do come in. I think more of the traffic is coming from 117. I know they're stating more of the traffic is coming from the Bel Air area because there is an entry from that Bel Air area. But I think that traffic is because 71, as you would know, is right next to it. A lot of that traffic is not coming in for the gas station or their business. They're coming in through 117. We don't even know how many people are potentially cutting in through there, but most of the traffic for the gas station is coming from the 117th area. That's either coming from Memphis turning into 117 or 117 that's coming off of the freeway from the Lakewood area.
Okay, have you explored any traffic flow controls for that station?
But we have not, to be honest.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of, I should say. So.
All right. Mr. Bay, who's our planner?
For this area. I believe this is Nate Lowell, our west side neighborhood planners area.
Okay. Used to be
Adam Davenport.
Yeah, it used to be Adam. So it's Nate now?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I would just, if I could please add on that.
Yeah.
There is an existing 6-foot fence in a lot of that location, so it's not like we would be putting a new obstruction. There is a 6-foot fence on the back of some of that back there. Am I wrong in saying that?
That's
I see.
correct. The whole side is what we're concerned about. So there that, the back you have,
Right, we're not gonna have, we're not gonna have an open discussion.
So the reason I say that is there's an existing fence on some of the outside of this building, so it's not gonna be new fencing essentially where there is no other fencing. This is the portion of the building that, and it is, we do have people that have a hard time. I'm sure people go into their driveway all the time. There's nothing other than a small chain link that's separating right now in order for us to separate the businesses. So it could possibly even help the flow of traffic with people knowing the difference of going into our establishment versus their establishment.
Okay. Mr. Bay, is Mr. Lull available?
I don't believe so. The only communication I had with him prior to this meeting on this case, about this case, was that the fence be set back from the right of way more. We didn't talk too much about traffic flow.
Okay, I don't, what was the setback suggested?
So right now, the proposed fence is to be set back 8 feet from the right of way, from the sidewalk, or 4 feet, my apologies. We're proposing that it be pushed back an additional 4 feet to be total setback of 8 feet from the property right of way. And that's really speaking to the same concerns of pedestrian safety.
Right.
As you're traversing, I believe this is Bel Air Road.
Yes.
So I think existing right now, there is a guardrail.
Yeah.
And so really, we believe that, pushing the fence back an additional 4 feet to about 8 feet would allow for a lot of that visibility for pedestrians coming down, as well as people pulling out of either curb cut to see what traffic is moving directly adjacent to them. Perfect.
Do you have any numbers on how many cars come in and out of there every day?
Not with me, but yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not with me, but I'm sure that we do. It is something that I definitely can get back to you. I don't have that information. I'm not gonna absolutely pretend to, but I'm sure that they do. I just don't have those numbers, and I would just be making it up.
Sure, appreciate that. Gentlemen, do you have plans to change the type of business in that building?
There's no dispensary going in there, so I don't know where this talk is coming from. Well, this building, eventually my brother and I, decide to move to a different location. I'm not just gonna leave it sitting empty. Putting up an 8-foot fence, is gonna stop any progress for my brother and I to be able to be seen.
All right.
If we want to, who knows, maybe turn it into a plaza. You never know, maybe down the line, Don't know what anybody can do, we can outgrow this place. Then putting up an 8-foot fence, another thing, I spoke to West Town, people that are in that neighborhood, that they were also against that. I don't know if she was in talks with them, but they were opposed to this.
Got it.
So was the council.
Okay. Ms. Kukla, any correspondence on this?
No, I don't have anything.
All right. What I'd really like to have happen here is I'd like to postpone this. I'd like to get Nate involved. I'd like some sort of, mediation sort of between the parties here. And get CDC involvement. Yes, go ahead.
Can you speak to the need of the 8-foot fence? You're permitted to do 6 feet as of right. Why 8 feet?
For us, really, it's just gonna be so that, again, the business that is behind us, then we are really clearly, creating that the 6 foot to 8 foot with the awning and everything that's in front, of it. We just feel like the 8 foot is gonna be of the length that's necessary in order for it to make sense for what it is that's our business. On top of the fact that there is a lot of debris that's coming over. And by that, I mean, we're having to pick up a lot of things from warehouse. I'm not stating that it is or it's not. I'm definitely, but we are finding that we're having to have people go out there. This is gonna alleviate our area versus the area that's necessary for whatever type of business. We're not here to control what type of business people are and or are not, but it sounds like the future look of it means that we're gonna potentially be changing this business. And we want to be able to decipher the fact that we are a quote unquote, it's not just a gas station. We also sell hot foods there. So a lot of the community people are walking into this area. It's also a little grocery store type of thing. So again, a lot of people are walking into this area. We just want to make sure that from our safety and our customer safeties as well, we don't know what may or may not be going on, into that space in the future. And with the things that are coming over, essentially, that we think would be able to be stopped with the 8-foot fence in regards to debris and different things. There are different machinery, I call it for a lack of better term, pieces that end up on our side, and it's almost in the back of the building. We want to be able to just determine that this portion is the gas station, convenience store, hot foods versus what it is that's on the other side. And right now with that barrier, it's just not there.
Do you recall the case we had with Councilman Harsh? It was a little mini strip mall, but we had neighbors next to it, we had traffic flow issues. Sort of the compatibility between the neighbor and the proposed project. This strikes me as sort of a similar situation in terms of it being high traffic flow. There is a high pedestrian usage. 4 curb cuts up 2 major streets. And the access to this building, their building, is adjacent to that same curb cut. So that's my reason for, I'd really like to get the planner involved and get the CBC involved. That's where I'm at. So, yeah, no, I just, yeah. So. Are you good with that? Yeah, you good with that, Ms. Wilson?
I agree. I'm very familiar with this intersection. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
So I think there needs to be further conversation before.
Yeah, and and it's clearly pretty contentious between the parties involved. So let's see if we can get a meeting of the minds. Yes, sir.
I already have multiple calls. I'm sure you guys are recording with the health department regarding debris and junk. And I had also pictures I didn't bring, but I could bring them in the next meeting. It's all their junk and their.
Well, and it's also.
We don't produce much stuff. We have, think about it, we have boxes, gas dispensers, and
Right.
that's all we have.
So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you a date. What do we have, Ms. Kukla?
October 21st.
October 21st, okay. So here's what I'm gonna have you do. You get your traffic volume numbers, all of that information, and put together your case. You guys do the same, all right? You're also adjacent to the entrance ramp. And we know that we have some homeless people that hang out in the area as well. So that's a contributing factor. We're gonna get the CBC involved, the Westtown community people. We'll probably get the councilman office involved. And, we'll get the planner involved, okay? There'll be a meeting.
Okay, thank you.
All right? So when you come back, I want you all prepared, have things in writing, have a presentation, submit that in advance. And nobody comes back until you've talked to the CBC, the council person, and the planner. Okay, got that? You can voice all your concerns. You can come back ready so we can make a decision. Okay? Cool. Are you guys just brothers or twins? You're brothers? Okay. Yeah, you're close enough. You've been sitting here long enough for me to show you. All right, thank you. Thanks for your patience. Sorry it took so long. All right. Okay. Old business. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 without objection board. Okay. Super. We've met our new person. Is he gonna be seated in time for next week? So we'll have a quorum.
We'll have a quorum.
Okay, so we will have a quorum. Excellent. Okay. Ms. Holzer and Ms. Roca will be absent next week. We'll have our new board member.
He's gotta jump in with those motions.
That's right. Jump in with those motions.
I'm trying to make it fair, because y'all threw me in, so we're gonna throw him in too.
You know, you literally had to sprint down the street.
I did.
So we could have a quorum to meet that day.
I
Oh,
did.
we're adjourned. We can go off.